Tax resolution really means we come in and we step in between you and the IRS. It means someone is speaking on your behalf. We stop the bleeding. We fix the records. We negotiate a real plan based on your actual situation, not what the IRS thinks. Hey, and we're not like one of those companies that just come in and let you continue to pay them and they don't do anything. They just let it sit there and sit there and sit there until it expires, or they fire you as a client. To me, that is crazy. I can't believe actually people are getting away with it. That's not what we do. Not only have I done this for individuals, for small business owners, but I've done this for Fortune 100 companies, where I would help sit across the table from the IRS and help to protect them and their assets from the IRS. Now I do it every day for people just like you. You work with us, we move fast. And we move fast because we have to move fast. The IRS doesn't give a lot of time. They expect timely responses and they want to get this done. Most of our clients, we try to stabilize them within 30 days. That means all the work that needs to go into cleanup, we make sure that's happening. Whether it's fixing books, filing old returns, any of those things, we make sure we are getting those things done within 30 days. So then we can outline a real clear solution that we can move towards so that you can get out of this mess. The other thing we do right away is we put a hold on your account. Now, the importance of a hold on your account means during that time, the IRS cannot garnish your wages. They can't issue a levy. They can't reach out to you. Any of these things. We come in as your representative. So we come in as the people that are representing you. The IRS wants to talk to you. They have to go through us first. And legally, they can't reach out to you anymore. So they can send you letters, but no phone calls. You can't call them. They can't call you. And the great thing about that is it allows you to get your peace of mind back. We take care of it for you. So during this period of time where we are representing you, we take the weight off your shoulders. And like I said, we make sure that we do any bookkeeping, any tax returns. We make sure that you get organized. You cannot create a solution without putting these things in place first. So we make sure that you have all the things that you need to put in place so that you can move forward and start to get this off your back. So that means there's some cleanup that has to be done. Then once we have all of that done, the next thing we do is we move into the resolution process. This is when we're actually resolving the debt. Now, the last phase really focused on cleaning up. We got to make sure that we clean you up because the IRS won't work with you if you are not in compliance and if you can't show a pattern that going forward you're going to be in compliance. So we got to make sure that we clean everything up, and we have to make sure that we tell them that going forward, we're going to make sure everything is cleaned up. We're going to make sure that you're filing on time. We're going to make sure that you're paying on time. We're going to make sure all those things happen, right? So we make sure that we go in and we tell them these things. Then we start the negotiations. So negotiations really mean that we can come out a few different ways. One of the first things that people hear about all the time that everybody wants to do is called an offer and compromise. Offer and compromise basically means you owed a lot of money and you're able to settle that for pennies on the dollar. Some clients have paid as little as $2,300, $500 to settle a case. It all depends on the details and your specific situation. So we look at your assets, we look at your expenses, we look at all those things and make sure that we can resolve it. If you qualify. So not everybody qualifies for an offer, but if you do, we're going to make sure you get one. The next thing you can do is an installment agreement. So an installment agreement means, hey, if you can't pay the whole balance full, that's okay. There are options. And the option that we use is to make payments. So we make payments that work for you. We pay those over a period of time. It can be up to 10 years in which you can make payments. And we make sure that it can be in a way that is going to work for you. So that's how we work with an installment agreement. Then there's what is called a partial pay installment agreement. Now, you might say, well, wasn't the last one an installment agreement? Yes. So a partial pay installment agreement is a little bit different in that a partial pay means you don't pay the full balance. So an installment agreement says if you owe $40,000 and let's say that we negotiate with the IRS that you can pay that over 10 years, then you would pay that over 10 years. They are going to add interest and things like that, but you'll be able to pay that over 10 years. A partial pay means, in that same case, you could owe $40,000, and we could go into the IRS and say, listen, it's $40,000. If we had to pay that over the course of 10 years, I'm just going to throw a number out there. Let's say that's $300 a month. But in our case, the client can only pay $100 a month. So the client wants to pay $100 a month over the next 10 years. And that's all they can pay. That's a partial pay agreement, because that means even though the balance is $40,000, we put you in a payment plan that you can afford. And even once you make all the payments, you wouldn't have paid the full balance. In that particular example, 10 years times 12, which is the number of months in a year, is 120. 120 times 100 is $12,000. So a debt that would be $40,000, even higher really with interest over time, you would actually be settling for $12,000. So that's what a partial pay agreement is. You don't have to pay the full balance, but the IRS will allow the debt to expire over time, and we make sure that you pay the least amount that is legally possible. The last option that we look at for clients is what's called a currently not collectible. So that means someone is not going into an offer. They're not going into some sort of installment or payment plan. It just means that they can't pay. So the IRS can't collect from them. And the great thing about this is during this time, it also means that the debt continues to expire. So whether you know it or not, there is an expiration date on all tax debt, and the IRS can only collect during that period of time. So we calculate what the expiration date is, and then we let the IRS know this is when you have to stop collecting on this particular client. So when you're in a CNC status or currently not collectible status, that means even though you may owe $10,000, even though you may owe $40,000, $50,000, $100,000, the IRS can't collect from you at all. And the expiration clock continues to click. So after a while, guess what happens? It expires. All of these different situations require certain things of you. We need you to show up a certain way in order for them to live out the full time frame that is needed in order for the debt to expire or whatever else occurs. All of it means that we have to work together as a team. But these are just 4 options that you can look into to help you resolve your tax debt. And we use them all. Now, I can share with you all day and tell you this is what we do, this is how we do it. But it's real life examples that help you understand what we've actually been able to accomplish with our clients. I'm going to give you 2 examples. One is an example based on a business, and one is an example based on just an individual person. So our first example, which was a client who had a business and they owed $250,000. Now, that client owed $250,000. However, they did not have the funds to pay it. It was a long, drawn-out issue. They had worked with other representatives before, attorneys who had worked with them before, trying to get this resolved, and it just didn't go anywhere. So they finally reached out to us. We put together a strong case. We put together a strong plan, and we submitted it. We said, hey, we owe $250,000. We can't pay it. Here were the circumstances in which it happened. This is what we've done to make sure that we are in compliance now and going forward. And based on their financial situation, we don't think they need to pay this. We would like to settle for $500. We put in our offer. It took some time, but it got accepted. $500 is what we settled on, even though that business owed $250, and the business is still in effect today. So let's talk about our second example. Now, in this example, we had a client who owed $100,000. They owed $100,000 due to some things they had done on the return, which weren't correct. There were some errors that they made on the tax return, and it ended up showing they owed this big balance of $100,000. We sat down, we took a look at the return. We said, no, we think there's a mistake. This is what the mistake is. This is what it looks like. This is how we can resolve it. We resolved the mistake for them. And instead of them owing $100,000, guess how much they owed? $6,000. That's it, $6,000. And because the client was already going to get a credit on the year for $6,000, they actually didn't have to pay a penny out of pocket. Those are just two amazing clients that we had very recently that we have worked with. And that's great. I'm telling you what we've been able to do as a company. But I think it's even more powerful if you hear it from someone who is a public figure. So I'm going to show you a quick video. And in this video, it's someone that I work directly with. They are a New York Times best-selling author. They actually have a PBS special. They are a public figure. You may have heard the name.
Shanta Thomas is a lifesaver, a business saver, and I won't let you go to jail because you're too cute, saver. Hey, my name is Tiffany Aliche, better known as the Budgetnista, America's favorite financial educator. And what can I say about Shanta? But Shanta came into my business as my CFO when we needed her most. We had been without a CFO for a number of months. And as a result, we fell into the pits of financial and tax despair. And we didn't even know. We were on the edge, right on the edge. And Shanta pulled us back and she saved us. And I cannot express how grateful I am for her expertise, for her kindness, for her professionalism. Even now that Shanta has moved on, she is still a resource to my team. And if you are looking for a professional financial resource, you cannot find a better person than Shanta. Girl, you already know. Thank you.
What's next? If you're ready to stop living in fear, here's what you have to do. You're going to click the button and it's going to take you to a questionnaire. That questionnaire is going to help you understand if you are ready to start services with us and help us understand if we are ready to start services with you. If you're ready to stop living in fear, here's what you have to do. Click the button so that you can answer some questions and we can see if you're a good fit for what we offer at this time. That's it. It's not a sales call. It's not a solution. It is, are you a good fit? And if you are, then we want to get on a call with you so that we can go through, understand what your situation is, and see if we really can help you resolve this matter. Listen, we are helping clients every day resolve their tax debts, remove the fear, stop the levies, stop the harassment from the IRS, and finally get their life back. If you want to work with someone who's going to stop the confusion, if you want to work with someone who's actually going to do the work to resolve your matter, then you want to work with us. We do this every day, working with clients, helping them resolve their tax issues. Listen, you're not lazy. You're not irresponsible. You're just overwhelmed. And now you are taking action. And I'm proud of you for that. So let's fix this and let's fix it together. I'll see you soon.